He agreed to serve on a temporary pro bono basis, and he's here today to share some of his experiences and the lessons he learned from his time in a community that has struggled with this civic culture being violated. So please welcome Ken Hampian.
Thank you very much. Great to be here. On July 15, 2011, the recruitment was extended, and rushing in to help beat the bushes for applications was the League of California Cities and the International City Managers Association. Bell still had an interim manager on the job, a holdover from the old regime who had no prior city manager experience, and 1 week later he walked out the door. So the Bell City Council, all brand new following a recall of the bad guys, convened an emergency Friday night meeting and appointed the mayor to serve as city manager. Not a great arrangement, to say the least. At 9:15 that same night, I decided to check my email one more time, hoping against hope for another Staples coupon. That was not to be. But there was an email from Atascadero City Manager Wade McKinney forwarding an emergency call-out from the professional associations pleading on behalf of Bell for someone to serve as Bell's interim city manager at least until a longer-term interim manager could be found. Since I left city management, I have received some overtures to serve as an interim manager, and except for one, I've passed on all of them without a second thought. I've been enjoying other kinds of work and service. The City Hall chapter of my life is just over, or so I thought. The recruitment that made me think twice was the City of Bell, the recruitment that yielded no applications. However, like everyone else evidently, I managed to resist that temptation, but I couldn't resist the July emergency call-out. The mission was compelling and the commitment much shorter term, so after talking it over with my wife, we agreed that I should go, but only on a pro bono basis, no pay. I didn't want there to be any question at Bell, or even here for that matter, about my motivation. This was about a mission, not a job. So a couple of days later, I packed up the car with enough stuff to carry me for 9 days until I would come home for a weekend visit, and left to interview with the Bell City Council about an hour before their scheduled council meeting. I left telling my wife, well, I'll see you in 9 days or 9 hours, depending upon how this goes. The Bell City Council is inexperienced, but they're smart, they're ethical, and they're very committed. And my discussion with them went just fine. And minutes later, I found myself sitting in the city manager's seat, staffing a jam-packed city council meeting, one with a very long agenda that I knew absolutely nothing about. I was introduced to the public by the mayor, who described my resume and accomplishments. However, to be honest with you, the audience wasn't overly impressed by my accomplishments here in the happiest city in America. But when the mayor announced my waiver of pay, that was another story. Thunderous applause broke out in the council chamber. I was off to a good start with the angry Bell public, and I enjoyed a great relationship with them throughout, even in the face of some difficult decisions that we made. During that first raucous council meeting, which I ultimately got very involved in, I wore the usual cool, neutral staff expression. However, my secret self-talk was different and focused on two core questions. The first was, holy crap, I'm the city manager of Bell. Why the hell did I do this? The second one was, can I be a city manager again? Can I do the job? Regarding the first question, I went to Bell for the same reasons others have been volunteering there, like our own former finance director, Bill Statler, and Mike Matari, who is here today. Volunteers went there to give back to a community that was betrayed by someone who called himself a public servant, who called himself a city manager. Serving there was a chance to demonstrate what professional service and management is really about. But could I be a city manager again? To my surprise, it was like riding a bike, except in Bell, it was a unicycle, flying downhill into blind turns almost every minute of every day and night. It was exciting, scary, exhilarating, frustrating, exhausting, and ultimately very rewarding. And it was a grand education, too. I prepared a visual presentation that tells the deeper, more shocking story of Bell. It includes my take on the 10 worst things that happen there, and the broader lessons learned about corruption, how to avoid it, and why there is hope for Bell. I would be happy to present this longer story to your organization or to your service club, pro bono of course. I will tease it simply by saying that the outrageous pay scandal ranks 10th on my list of the 10 worst things that happen there. If you're interested, see me afterward.
That's not right.
I'm very serious about that. If you're interested, see me afterward, or send an email to KC as in Charles Hampian at charter.net. Thank you very much.
The first soapbox this morning is from Founders Bank. Please welcome President and Chief Administrative Officer, Reese Davies.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, San Luis Obispo. I'm Reese Davies, President of Founders Community Bank. The bank was founded in 2005 here in the city, and today we have 2 offices here, and soon we'll be opening a North County home production office in the Tascadero across from the Carlton Hotel. So you might ask yourself, why am I up here telling you all this? Well, I'll tell you why. With all the turmoil that's been in our financial markets, excuse me, for the past 3 to 4 years, that has even permeated into our local economy, causing a lot of negativity to some of our local banks, businesses, and individuals. We want everyone to know in the city that Founders Community Bank is safe, sound, secure, well capitalized, and we have money to lend. Our bank is committed to doing what we can to help getting our local economy rolling again by making funds available through lending processes to qualified applicants. Through various financing options, it is our hope that this activity will also create new jobs and help people get back to work. Of course, all applicants and or business entities must meet certain standard underwriting guidelines that is in keeping with our commitment to lending responsibly from the bank's perspective. And lending responsibly, that's what we do at Founders Community Bank. I'd like to introduce to you some of our dedicated professional officers that stand ready to come to you. Holly Maslowski, Senior Vice President of Business Development. Jay Beck, Vice President, Credit Administration. Leah Pauley, Vice President, Lending. Kelly Stoltz, Vice President, Lending. Dave Axberg, AVP, SBA. Darren Barnes, AVP, Lending. And Rusty Hall, our loan officer. These are a few of our professionals that we call the faces of Founders and stand ready to assist you. More information on them and what the bank provides is in a brochure at your table. So we will just leave you with one question. May we call on you? Thank you very much.
And nearly 2 weeks ago, the SLO Noor Foundation, a local nonprofit, opened its door to offer free primary and specialty health care in our community. The clinic is the vision of Dr. Ahmad Nooristani. Dr. Nooristani, who immigrated from Afghanistan as a teenager and came to SLO just 3 years ago, has been working tirelessly at making his dream a reality here in San Luis Obispo. And he's inspired hundreds of professional volunteers with him in this quest. Dr. Nooristani is here today to share what he has learned in his first, actually only a couple of days of actual operation of the clinic, and his future plans for this new service in our community. Please welcome Dr. Ahmad Nooristani.
Rookie mistake, I didn't prepare any speech. This is my first speech here, I guess. I just want to tell you guys why I started this program and what was the main reason. Insanity is number one. But when I started here about 3 years ago, emergency rooms, I saw so many patients that used emergency room as their only source of visit to a physician. I mean, these are people who haven't seen a physician for years. And by the time they come to emergency room, it's too late. Either they had a heart attack, stroke, or they ended up in dialysis. I have 3 projects running outside United States, in Afghanistan, Kenya, and also South America. But, you know, seeing those patients, I needed to do something for this community as well. I know we live in the happiest community or the city in America or in the world, but there's no reason for it to be not the healthiest one as well. So keeping that in mind, I started a small project of opening something or offering to people who have no insurance, free of charge. The model didn't exist, so obviously I kind of recreated everything. And I've been working on it for over 2 years, over 30 hours a week beside my job. Finally, it is here. So we opened about 2 weeks ago. The organization is, once again, it's a not-for-profit organization. It's volunteer-based only. We have over 500 volunteers. It's amazing how many people want to get back to the community and give back. We have over 50 physicians in different areas of medicine, not only preventive but also subspecialists. Actually, every physician that I have spoken in this town has agreed to come in and donate their time. One of the main objectives also was to educate. I mean, preventive medicine is the key to our success in this community, making it a healthier community. And something that's lacking not only in this county but throughout America. Part of this project is also teaching, as I said. We'll have programs including diabetic teaching, heart failure teaching, wellness program, physical therapy, nutritionist, and something, once again, that this county doesn't have. Let me give you an example. We have over 15 nutritionists alone providing services, teaching services. Also, this project is will be a tool for universities and the students who come in and rotate and gain valuable lessons, not only in medical field or students who are going to medical school, but also everybody else in business community, engineering, anything they could have a source to do some research, which is also lacking here. The problem, or actually one of the challenges with this project is obviously funding. Once again, we're not for profit, so we run by donation. And for the past 2 years, the community has provided some help to keep it running. I had to get a place for 2 years to pay rent in order to get the project started. Unfortunately, there's a lot of red taping with every step that we take. I'm hoping that to expand the program and continue to run the program in future. And as I said, one of the challenges running is monetary issues. So far, it has been a blessing. Also, the county has helped out to pay a $75,000 grant. That grant goes toward the lab work. One of the challenges in medicine is getting the proper diagnosis done based on the labs. And we have to send patients outside, and that takes a day. And all of you guys have been to doctor, I hope. And you guys know how complicated it is to get your lab done. It takes about 3 to 4 days. With this project, everything will be done in-house. So it means we see you, get your lab done, and we'll make the diagnosis and whatever adjustment need to be done at that moment. Kind of one-stop shop. So once again, I'm asking for you guys to open your hearts as well as your wallets to donate. We're trying to get 1,000 people to donate $10 on recurrent base, or 40 or more businesses to donate 100 or more to keep this project running for as long as it takes. Thank you.
You shared a little bit about what the first days were like, and maybe you can give just 10 seconds on what you saw right at the beginning.
We've been only open. We were only open Friday, Saturday for limited hours, 4 hours each. We got about over 70 patients already, and believe me, I prevented 2 strokes, a heart attack, new onset of diabetes. The cost of those are over millions of dollars. If I hadn't seen those patients, I would have been in ER with a heart attack or a stroke. Blood pressure over 190. So a little more would have been having a stroke. So it's amazing, 70 patients. And this is all middle class Caucasian. So I'm not talking about excuse me, immigrants or people, homeless people. Majority of them had either small business owner in between the job or had a job. So it is surprising. 30% is uninsured, so I'm pretty sure there's a lot of blue-collar people who need this.
Thank you. Next, we have a soapbox from Merit Profiles. Please welcome Bill Reinhardt to the stage.
Good morning, SLO. You know, for a rookie mistake and not being prepared, that was a pretty good speech. If you look through the blizzard of paper that you received this morning, you'll find this little snowflake of a postcard. And I want to give a shout out to our friends at Verdant Marketing for helping us create it. But if you find this postcard, that's where our information is. I'm the president of Merit Profiles, and we're based here in the Central Coast. We do background screening. As preparing for this, I wondered how many words there were in a 2-minute speech. So I went to the source of highest intelligence for our society, Wikipedia, and I found out it's about 100 words a minute. I looked at my first draft and it was 320 words, so I knew I was in trouble. And then I realized by the time I tell you this story, I've lost another 50 words, so I'm deeper. Anyway, you're all familiar with background screening. We have customers nationwide. We provide our searches and our research both nationwide and internationally. We have several clients locally, and we provide the full range of services for pre-employment, such as criminal record checks, driving record checks, credit reports, drug testing, reference checking, education verification, the whole package. We're on the internet, we're easy to use, and it's about as simple as Amazon. If you have your card out, and on the desk where it says Human Resources, if yours happens to be yellow or highlighted, now everybody's looking for it. And I know there's one right over in here, and I know there's one over here somewhere. If you have it, please see us right after the event, and we have a $25 gift card to Trader Joe's for you. There's a, now you're really looking for it. Always remember the difference between knowledge and experience.
10 seconds.
With background screening, you get knowledge. Without it, you get experience. Thank you.
For those of you who think dating is tough in a small town, at least your love life did not play out in front of millions of people. Ryan Park, an executive at a local company, had just that experience earlier this year when he was one of 25 contestants vying for the attention of one woman on the ABC TV reality show, The Bachelorette. Once the show hit the airwaves, he instantly entered the celebrity sphere. He's here today to give us a scoop on what it means to be on a reality show and maybe answer my question, is there anything real on reality TV? Please welcome Ryan Park.
Well, let's talk about important stuff. I mean, it's, saving people's health and all that. Now I'm going to talk about reality TV. Feel this good. Well, let's see here. Day job, yeah, I started with Cal Poly here locally. Started with REC Solar as the fourth employee, and it's been quite a ride. We install solar homes, businesses. In fact, this Costco's covered with solar panels. That got a little boring for me after 10 years. And one night, the sales manager was saying, Ryan, you should become the next eco-bachelor. Okay, guys, sure. A few auditions later, and I guess 25,000 people applied for this. I'm now in a limo, peering out the window, cameras everywhere on booms. There's a girl standing there in a dress. The next thing I know, I'm saying hello to a few million friends in their living rooms. Traveling all around the world. We went to Thailand, Phuket, Thailand, Chiang Mai, Hong Kong, fantastic city. Taiwan, where those of you who watched got to see me get booted, and that was real. Not wearing a pink shirt today. And then went back for more punishment in Fiji, but that was pretty neat. And so I get asked, the standard question is this stuff real? Is it scripted? And I'll say, you know what, if you take 25 people from all walks, it's really a psychological experiment. I took a full exam and all that, and they know what they're getting. And you put these people in a room, vying for one person, and you take away from all your comforts, meaning 10 weeks you guys set a therapy session. I mean, you have no contact with family and friends, no no emails, no phones, nothing. And all you're doing every day is talking, thinking about feelings. You better believe things get heightened. A week there is like an eternity. It feels like a month. So 10 weeks later, and when I'm asking, would I do it again? Absolutely. I mean, 10 weeks of going through this, I grew a lot personally. I saw the world. And ultimately, what I truly believe in, I mean, they definitely, 30 minutes, I'm having a date with Ashley at one point, those of you that watched it, and we talk about various topics, and we have a lot of time together. They can only cut so much into these shows, and of course, they take the scene of me talking about tankless water heaters. Unbelievable. She's like thinking about other things, and I'm talking about tankless water. Yeah, man, I mean, I've heard that more time. Like, the water heater guy, And the wrong end is like, my colleague's like, Ryan, you're in solar, you talk about water heaters? What's wrong with you? Oh, man. But, ultimately, you put people all around, and the storylines play out. It's a recipe that just can't fail. And the last thing, and I'll get off here, is that, at the core, the people that work on that show, a lot of the producers, sure, they want the drama. That's what creates the conflict and whatnot. But at the core, the people that work there, there's a lot of couples, they truly want people to fall in love. And, after being there and seeing it, it does happen. And sure, a lot of the people say, oh, relationships don't work out. There are some that do, but in real life, relationships don't work out. So, I walk away with a feeling that it's quite a franchise. They really want it to work out. Great experience. And, take care, and let's focus on important things.
Now we've got a soapbox from the Central Coast Economic Forecast. Please welcome the incoming chair of the forecast, Dick Wilhoit.
Moderated by Bob Wacker. Bob keeps us in a very light attitude as we go through this, keeps good audience engaged. What we'd like to do is have Lori. Lori's been very helpful in handling the registrations in this, so take the opportunity to buy your tickets now. We have a few more days if some would like to be sponsors. That could be done, but we'd like to see you at the forecast. Thank you very much.
Steve Rossi, Director of Marketing and Outreach, is here today to share some of the work that they have done that has led to some exciting breakthroughs for dyslexic children. Please welcome Steve Rossi.
Obviously, I'm Director of Marketing and Outreach. I've been asked to talk a little bit about a recent study that was done on dyslexic students, brain studies. I'm not a brain researcher, and you're eating breakfast, so I'll keep it very surface, just for our own pleasure here. Actually, on the way in, my father was gracious to remind me, I was always curious if you had a brain when you were in high school. Thanks. You actually all have a copy, a reprint of this study, and this is a really big deal. When I had originally spoken to Arlene about this, this was quite a year for Linda Newbell. We've been involved for years on a number of different research studies. This is the first one that really came out that highlighted something that nobody had done. And the study took place where it was a series of evaluations, different programs, different theories, different methodologies of instruction. They looked at what would make an impact on the students' learning. In the end, and we don't know why, they chose only to focus the study and report on our program, our Student Stars program. So it was initially started as a comparative study, and in the end, they only compared our program and the results. And what was interesting about these results is, sorry, I'm a little nervous about this because I'm talking about study. What was interesting about these results is the fact that it looked at 16 children who were classically diagnosed as dyslexic. From these 16 kids, from these 16 children, they basically did some pre-test evaluations. This is where they determined where their strengths and weaknesses are with language processing. From there, they also did MRIs. Now, these are different than a lot of MRIs we're hearing about in the news right now, and that a lot of the ones coming out. In fact, NPR this last week had a brain study that they were reporting about, but those were functional MRIs, which is looking at activity in the brain. This one's actually looking at brain structure, the real MRI, whether or not the brain has all the elements it's supposed to have in its physical makeup. What happened was they scanned these children's brains. We put them through 8 weeks of instruction. At the end of the 8 weeks, they compared the MRI pre-instruction post-instruction along with performance gains. Both went up significantly. The numbers and the data are in this to show kind of what happened. That was great. We expected that. We didn't really expect as much to change in brain structure as what had occurred. To us, we didn't know what would happen. It was, you know, we've never looked inside a child's brain to see what happens. We just know that they can read better when we're done. That's great. We didn't expect to see as many changes as had occurred. The really great thing about what happened next, though, was 8 weeks later, after no instructional period, they take the same kids, put them back through all the same tests, everything remained. So it wasn't like it got a bump up after 8 weeks and then it dropped back down afterwards, both within their performance skills and the actual brain structure changes. So this was really a big deal. This is truly a monumental change in what we're seeing and what we're able to process with this. This has now, of course, led other universities. This one was studied through Georgetown University, Wake Forest University, and 4 different researchers on that team. But this has now led to University of Alabama has contacted us. They're looking into something most of us have probably heard of, which is autism. Seeing if this is applicable in autism. It's starting to actually look at the idea, is it even applicable under Alzheimer's? Something that if you have brain matter volume physically changing and improving and increasing in specific areas of the brain, it wasn't like it was general increases. They were specific to the areas that we know function language processing ability. So it was really a big deal to us. We're looking forward to seeing where it goes next. So when I was speaking with Doreen about this, and I was saying, you know, this is a big deal on a worldwide scale of language processing and mental development. This goes beyond, can you teach a 4th grader how to read better? This goes to fundamentally, how does a human being learn? Really a big deal. So I will actually wrap it up pretty quickly and early there. I want to let you all know, though, that we will have results on this published on our website, including the researchers who were involved with this. They have a video on there that they've done. In fact, one of the researchers after this was so impressed by what they were seeing, they actually ended up leaving their position with the university a year later and came and worked for us in our R&D department to continue more studies. So, good moment.
Actually also been very proactive in greening their operations. It was recognized just 2 years ago as a Chamber Green Awards winner. This year's Green Awards winners are going to be unveiled at a luncheon on November 10th at the Embassy Suites. In addition to learning about who of your peers are taking great strides in environmental leadership, you'll also be able to hear from Michaela O'Connor-Abrams, president of Dwell Media. She's a powerhouse in sustainability and marketing. She previously held executive positions at McGraw-Hill, Computer World. She's been a headliner at green conferences around the country. We're pretty fortunate to have her because she has an affinity to our region as a Poly graduate. So if you are interested in hearing her, it's $20 per person to attend or $200 for a table of 10. Registration is open just for a few more days. We're about to sell out at slowchamber.org. Okay, now I'd like to have a soapbox from Gwen Belfry, president of Coast National Bank. Please welcome Gwen Belfry.
Good morning, SLO. Coast National Bank was organized in 1997, and this morning we have a couple of my co-workers here, Charlie Fruit, our Community Development Officer, and Kirsten Bierman. I've seen you, I'm not sure where you're sitting. She heads up our San Luis Obispo office. And in the 14 years of our being in San Luis, headquartered here, we've established 4 offices. Arroyo Grande, Morro Bay, Paso Robles were added to SLO. And we are the epitome of what community banking really is. And I'll give you a couple of examples. When it comes to where we try to decide how we're going to do our purchasing, we look to local business and our clients first. And my office happens to be across from our purchasing director, and I can hear her say, well, do you bank with us? And this is in response to the marketing calls that she might get. Another example of how we do business is that when we're working with our clients on projects, I can often find Charlie talking to the client that is in front of him and saying, well, I know someone that can help you with the plumbing, the electrical. So we, while still adhering to the normal rules and regs of privacy, are able to cross-refer clients. And I don't think you find that today at your larger national or regional institutions. So our niche is guaranteed loans, and I would encourage you that if you have a real estate loan that has a balloon, that you go ahead and find a product, which we just happen to be able to offer, that could get you a fully amortized loan.
Thank you.
And can I do one quick little quip? There is a new chamber starting in San Miguel. Knowing all of you are very active in supporting San Luis, on our flyer, Jeff Marsden is the chairperson.
Like me, sites like Pandora, Slacker, Live 365, Spotify have fundamentally altered my interaction with music. I have really very little understanding of how they exactly know what I want to hear, but someone in our audience really does. Tod Nelson was the #8 employee at Amazon, helping the internet giant into numerous new ventures, including helping it to launch into the music business. Now, he's following the music revolution into cloud-based streaming and technology. He's here to explain what it means and how it can benefit you in your business. Please welcome local resident, Tod Nelson.
I'm here to speak. I'm really excited to be here and speak to you because I think there's a music revolution going on. The biggest since digitization, perhaps since the advent of recording. The way we listen to and discover music is changing. All music, by that I mean your music, my music, everybody's music, is moving to the cloud. The paradigm of ownership has changed. Instead of buying a CD or downloading an MP3 to your hard drive, you stream from the cloud. Never before have you had such easy access to so much music for so little money. You can listen to any song, anytime, anywhere in the world. All this to me is revolutionary. Things are changing fast. There are a ton of companies and services clamoring to capture your ears and your money. That's why I'm writing a book, A Guide to Music Streaming. It takes an in-depth, unbiased approach to the competing services to help the consumer decide whether they want to spend their money and time listening to music. But that's not what I'm going to do today. I'm here to cut straight to the chase and tell you my heavily biased opinions. I've done a ton of research, and I've spent hundreds of hours online listening to music, exploring the technology. Much to my wife's chagrin, it turns out she's not as big a fan of Japanese noise rock as I thought. Here's what I've learned. Amazon Cloud Drive and Google Music are absolutely awful. Their interface is terrible. It took me 2 frustrating weeks to upload my collection to each service. I find it baffling that such smart companies have created such lousy services. Buy books on Amazon, Google your ex-girlfriend, but don't waste any time using their streaming services. Pandora is great. It's the best of the radio-styled streaming sites, and I use it a lot. As great of a service it is, it has limitations. I was actually shocked in my research to learn that Pandora only has 900,000 songs, when competing sites have up to 15 million songs. Maybe that's no matter what radio station I listen to on Pandora, I always end up hearing Coldplay. The technology that excites me the most, the one I use the most, is on-demand streaming, sites like Rhapsody and Spotify. My favorite service, by far, hands down, is Rdio. Rdio gets it all right. It's a terrific experience. As with most on-demand sites, on Rdio you can listen to exactly what you want, when you want, for a small monthly fee of $4.99. You want to wash down your morning coffee with Radiohead? Click. Want to croon along to Patsy Cline on your commute? Click. You want to play Justin Bieber? Within seconds of joining Rdio, you match your digital music library to the cloud. You don't actually upload your files. Rdio recreates your library with their files. And the best thing about it, it sounds fantastic. It's way better than the compressed MP3s on your computer and on your iPod. But the thing I love most about Rdio is that it's the only site that's built from the ground up around the idea of social music discovery. On Rdio, you follow other music lovers, people whose taste you like. You can see their collections, get inspired what they listen to, collaborate on playlists, and send and receive recommendations. RDO also syncs seamlessly with Facebook, so you can share and discover music with your friends and family there. RDO is a discovery machine. I am a lifelong music geek, and yet at the age of 47, I've learned about more bands, albums, and genres in the last year than any other time in my life, including when I was editor at Amazon.com for the music team. Scientists have discovered that when we listen to music with others, our brain releases feel-good hormones and chemicals associated with feelings of trust and bonding. I think we've been plugged into our own little private worlds of music for far too long, alone with our earbuds and our iPods. And we've forgotten the communal magic of music. Radio shatters that private world and opens you up to an endless universe of musical community and discovery. I often describe the RDO experience as being akin to when I was a teenager, sitting on my bedroom floor and spinning records with friends, a time when everything was new and vibrant and music seemed vital to life. All of this for a few bucks a month. For less than the price of buying a CD or downloading an album, you can have universal access to any song you've ever looked to hear. There are a lot of ways businesses can take advantage of music streaming. If your business uses music to enhance the consumer experience, the economics, accessibility, and customization and ease of use of music streaming makes it a no-brainer. Now that most streaming services integrate with Facebook, music is now an important part of your online personality. Businesses can use music streaming to define their brand and their persona. Starbucks is a great example of this. But you must also be careful to manage your music profile. I was in a Starbucks yesterday. The employees were streaming music from Spotify. It was music that was decidedly un-Starbucks. I think it was Norwegian death metal. I don't think Howard Schultz would be happy with that. Well, thanks for letting me go on and evangelize for a few minutes. Happy listening. Have a great day. Thanks a lot.